Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Kevin, and welcome back to my little corner of the universe. If this is your first time checking out my videos, thank you for doing so. If you're a returner, welcome back. I know I haven't done any political stuff in a while, and that's a pretty good reason behind that. YouTube has been suspending and striking the hell out of my channel. Apparently, what I say is pretty darn effective. But we're gonna take our waders off and we're gonna jump in the deep end again today. And we're gonna go political. Thank you for taking time to check out my video. If this is your first time to my channel, put a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't like the video, leave a comment, be it good or bad. I'm always going to interact with you, and subscribe down below and smash that notification bell. That way you're kept up to date with all the latest. If you don't know who these two people are up on the screen, that is Joe Rogan and the worst journalist of the year, Don Lemon. These two have been taking bits and barbs at each other for a long time. Here's a small little sample of them in the past.
There's a lot I can go on about, especially about straight white men. You're aggrieved now? Okay. No one is stopping Joe Rogan or any other straight white man from expressing themselves.
Ryan Stelter's show keeps slipping and slipping and slipping in the ratings.
He's the worst. And you know
Same
what they
with Don
do?
Lemon. It's the same thing. Everybody knows that they're not real. They're not real humans.
So a couple of weeks ago, Joe Rogan came out and told the world that he had received COVID.
Got tested, and turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything.
Don Lemon and CNN jumped on the bandwagon because Joe Rogan had mentioned that he had taken the ivermectin medicine. That was normally, it's most widely prescribed for a horse dewormer or a cattle dewormer or for livestock, but it is also commonly used within humans with over 1 billion doses already prescribed across the world. So ivermectin is a FDA-approved drug, but Don Lemon and CNN lied throughout the entire process of this drug and what Joe Rogan was saying and misrepresented what he was saying. Forget the ivermectin because it doesn't really matter, because Joe Rogan took a cocktail of drugs that helped him get better. But listen to what they have to say about the ivermectin, and you're going to see the utter compounded lies that CNN can't get themselves out of, and they keep getting called out on, until it finally came to a head the other day. And Joe Rogan was threatening to sue CNN, Don Lemon, and has had enough. Let's see what the battle is, and then let's break it down.
Now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
So where is this misinformation coming from?
We know that our FDA has in many ways failed us by not allowing for the use of ivermectin.
Weinstein discussed the benefits of a drug called ivermectin, which can and is around the world used to treat and prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Republican Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson has been pushing ivermectin since 2020. His dubious claims about COVID treatments, including ivermectin, earned him a 1-week suspension from YouTube.
And causing a great deal of public disservice when he describes a completely jumbled, sort of self-created medical regimen that he's on right now.
One of those drugs he mentioned, ivermectin, is something more often used to deworm horses.
Rogan has walked back anti-vaccine comments in the past and may do the same in this case.
Promoting kind of a crazy jumble of, sort of folk remedies and internet prescribed drugs. It's, again, dangerous now. He should have more sense.
But wait! There's more!
So, what I mean by there's more is that CNN went on a tirade about 3 months ago on ivermectin. Ivermectin, I told you I was going to keep saying it wrong. They went on a tirade about 3 months ago where they were just bad-mouthing the hell out of this medicine that's been used by billions of people worldwide. I'm going to play those clips for you, and I'm going to make you I'm not going to make you. I'm going to let you decide for yourselves, but I want you to see the actual clips of CNN lying and lying over and over again about this drug ivermectin. Here we go.
Poison control centers are reporting that their calls are spiking in places like Mississippi and Oklahoma because some Americans are trying to use an anti-parasite horse drug called ivermectin.
The CDC says calls to poison control centers have tripled compared to the number of calls they were getting before the pandemic started.
We're talking about 14 or 15 people who are calling because they may have toxicity as a result of ingesting livestock ivermectin to self-treat or self-prevent COVID.
So you just saw several CNN clips of individuals saying that there was a hospital in Oklahoma that was being overrun with patients that were suffering from ivermectin. I told you I was going to keep pronouncing it wrong. The horse dewormer drug, they were overfilling the beds. And that the hospital was so full that they couldn't even treat gunshot patients. This was such a bad lie that CNN had to retract it on one of their own news programs. Don't believe me? Watch with your own eyes. Here we go.
Viral was pretty bad, at very least significantly exaggerated. And then some of the criticism of this very flawed story was also itself flawed. In other words, this was a pretty comprehensive mess. So let's walk through it step by step. Last week, an Oklahoma TV station ran a web headline saying patients overdosing on ivermectin backing up rural Oklahoma hospitals, ambulances. And the story claimed that a local doctor had said that people taking ivermectin were causing emergency room and ambulance backups. It also suggested that ivermectin was the reason this doctor said even gunshot victims were having a hard time finding a hospital spot. The story was then basically copied with little to no additional research by some bigger name national and international outlets, notably including Rolling Stone magazine. And it was promoted by some big name media figures on the left on Twitter, notably including MSNBC host Rachel Maddow. But Brianna, the story had a major flaw. Contrary to the strong suggestion of this story, there is no evidence that ivermectin was the key cause or even a primary cause of hospital backups in Oklahoma. And if you go through the doctor's quotes in the clips the local station released, there's no evidence even that the doctor claimed that himself.
So there are a few clips that you've seen with your own eyes and heard with your own ears about CNN and ivermectin and how they've lied about it and had to cover it up and had to recant stories that they did not tell truthfully. So now what you're going to see is the aftermath of everything that has corresponded up until this point for about 3 months. You're going to watch Joe Rogan's response, and then you're going to watch Don Lemon and Dr. Gupta. I don't know what his damn name is, but he's the CNN doctor. You're going to see Joe Rogan drill the hell out of this doctor, and then you're going to watch Don Lemon and that doctor the very next day doubling down on their lie. So I want you to be open-eared, wide-eyed, paying attention, and thinking for yourselves. Here we go.
But that's not what Rogan was taking. But CNN didn't care and lied about it and said Rogan was taking horse pills. On Wednesday, he called them out.
They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs from veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network. You're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people, a drug that was responsible for one of the inventors of it winning the Nobel Prize in 2015.
Yeah.
Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, mother. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
Here. Somebody gave it to me.
All right, hang on. The thing is, we're like going so fast.
Yes, we are going so fast. But Rogan didn't let up.
Do you think that's a problem, that your news network lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude.
What did they say?
They lied
What did
and
they
said
say?
I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
They
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch of other
it was-
medications.
if you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication, and you're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication. They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before
But they
coming
did
on
it
your
with
podcast.
such glee.
No,
Yes, they
Joe.
did. I watched.
All right, so now you're going to witness Don Lemon and the CNN doctor doubling down on their lie. Here we go.
Very important. I know it's in large part a tongue-in-cheek interview, because it's Joe Rogan and there's you're jockeying back and forth. But he did say something about ivermectin that I think wasn't actually correct about CNN and lying, okay? Ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer. So it is not a lie to say that the drug is used as a horse dewormer. I think that's important, and it is not approved for COVID. Correct?
That's right. That's correct. It is not approved for COVID, and you're right. I mean, the FDA even put out a statement saying, basically reminding people, it was a strange sort of message from the FDA, but that said, you're not a horse, you're not a cow, stop taking this stuff, is essentially what they said, referring to ivermectin. Now, I think what Joe's point is...
It's been approved for humans, but not necessarily for COVID, right? Yeah.
That's correct. It's been used for a parasitic disease, for something it's called river blindness, and it's been very effective for that. But, just because it works for one thing doesn't mean it works for something else. Right. And, there's still a few ongoing clinical trials around ivermectin, but for the most part, if you look at the data, there's no evidence that it really works here. When Joe got sick, he took ivermectin. He also took monoclonal antibodies, which is, an infusion of these antibodies. So he took both those things. It's very likely it was the monoclonal antibodies that made him feel better so quickly.
I just want to know one thing. You ready? Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying. Break it down. Ooh. This is where we break it down. This is where we do the whoa, break it down. This is where.
As always, determine for yourselves, but what you just saw was a dying, mediocre cable news network, CNN, trying to compete with a multi-millionaire, $100 million platform podcaster who reaches out to millions and millions and millions of people on a daily basis, where CNN cannot reach not even reach 1 million people, 500,000, 700,000 at max. This is a death throes of a dying news network and an anchor that is reaching for straws at best. Don Lemon, the worst journalist of the year, who has like 15 sexual lawsuits against him. It's not 15, I'm just kidding. But he does have sexual assault lawsuits against him. Go look it up. It's in the news. But you've seen the evidence. You've seen everything that's gone down. Think for yourselves. Come to your own conclusions. And if this is your first time checking out my channel, thank you for doing so. As always, put a thumbs up if you liked the video. Thumbs down if you didn't like the video. Subscribe down below. Smash that notification bell. Leave a comment down below. Be it good or bad. I'm always going to interact with you. And wherever you are in the world, and whatever you're doing at this moment right now, I hope you all have smiles upon your faces. And until next time, have a good one.
Sorry. I said I wasn't going to do this. Jesus.
I'm not crying. It's just been raining on my face. And if you think you see some tear tracks down my cheeks, please, please, don't tell my mates. I'm not crying. No, I'm not crying.
But what's crazy is look how better I got.
Yeah.
I got better pretty quick, bitch.